if ever choppy ang ako ang end ha or ma-disconnect ko kay I won't know because uh, kanang ang screen ra jud akong makita. But anyway, so this afternoon we will have the diversity of kingdom fungi. Now, so this is also uh, found in our reference book, chapter 25. So just read for further information, no, and um, some details that we might not discuss during our afternoon's discussion. So kindly read na lang our chapter 5. So for your fungi, um, basically during the time of Carolus Linnaeus, this was included under the kingdom Animalia. No, because there are characters that are animal-like, but then there are also characters that are seem to be coming from the plant representatives. No, so basically, just like your kingdom Protista, the kingdom fungi have very diverse and mixed characters. No, for both the animals and plants. For instance, your fungi, just like your animals, they have cell walls which are made up of chitin, and your chitin are basically carbohydrates that are found in the animal kingdom. No? But just like your plants, these fungi are non-motile, meaning they cannot move from one place to another. They are anchored to a particular substrate, just like your plants. No? So nasad sila ugat-ugat, for instance. You call them as mycelium or rhizome. No? Uh, Same with other plants, your fungi is also are spore bearing, no? And you have two types of spores for our fungi. You have the asexual spores and you also have the sexual spores. So some representatives of kingdom fungi can eventually do asexual reproduction, some can do sexual reproduction, but some also can do both, no, both asexual and sexual reproduction. Now, they are eventually getting their nutrients coming from the environment by simple absorption, no? Or simple diffusion of food and liquid particles. No? So they need to have moist rhizoids, no, or root-like structures for them to be able to get these nourishments. And then they have or they lack, no, chlorophyll, just like your animals. So they cannot manufacture their own food. That's why they need to be saprophytic in terms of their um, trophic nourishment adaptation. No, they would eventually release enzymes in the environment, and these enzymes would digest these organic materials for them to absorb. No? So there is what you call external digestion of your carbohydrates or any organic matter in that particular sense. No, just like your plants, they have cell wall again, but the cell wall is made up of a very animal-like carbohydrate, which is your chitin, no, which is a derivative of your N-acetylglucosamine. And if you try to recall the cell wall of your bacteria are made up of peptidoglycan, which also contains the N-acetylglucosamine, no, as well as your NAT, no, and the NAM, the N-acetylmuramic acid and L-acetyltoluaminorumic acid, no. You also have sexual reproductions, no? So I made mention about their mode of reproduction. So they can eventually do both asexual and sexual reproductions. But some may only have asexual and some might only have sexual, no? There are 100,000 identified species, and these are species that are highly free living. There are some that are obligate parasites and there are some that are pathogenic. No? So, lain-lain sa jud sila og mga uh, lifestyles na kung baga. Your fungi are basically, no, they are primarily terrestrial. So makita sila most of the time sa ato ang mga land habitat. But there are now species of fungi that are found associated with our mangrove ecosystems. No? So naa sila dapit sa mga salty marshes or swamps or estuaries, no? For example. But they are very much primarily terrestrial organisms. No? So you can find them in our air, in our soil, no? In our food, even in our um, mga liquid drinks na anapod na sila yung mga fungi. They are saprophytes, no? As I said a while ago. So they eventually do external digestion of organic matter, and then they would eventually um, absorb these matters through diffusion, no? Simple diffusion process. That is what you call autotrophy. And then they are important because role in the nutrient cycling in our ecosystem. So this is important to take note because your decomposition process, no, in uh, na I disconnect in the nutrient cycling, no? And if you have disconnect in this particular um, cycling of nutrients, then there might be some imbalances na in terms of the utilization of our hello or padungog pa ko ninyo, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sige. Wala ko naputol.
Na wala ka kadyot, sir, pero nibalik ka. Ay ka nang wala-wala gamay.
Uh, wala. Thank you. So, yeah, so that's saprophytes and then important decomposers. And then many of them are pathogenic. No? So as I said, some representatives of fungi can cause diseases. No, 5,000 species are plant pathogens, meaning they infect and parasitizes plant species. And then there are 20 new human pathogens that are being discovered every year. So that's how kanang important your kingdom fungi in terms of their medical importance, no? And then some are mutualistic, meaning they tend to have an intricate interrelationship with other species, most especially with our trees and shrub species, no? So some fungi grow on the roots of these plants as mycorrhiza, no? Or simply mutualistic fungi. When you say mycorrhizae, these are now the fungi that eventually gives or fix the nitrogen coming from the atmosphere and provides our plants with the necessary nitrogenous molecules, no? So without your mycorrhiza, unsay may tabo sa inyuhang uh, plant biomass growth or increase, that would be stunted, no? Mo decrease siya. But because of the presence of these mutualistic fungi, they're now able to associate themselves with the plants so that the plants could eventually do more in terms of converting the inorganic molecules into organic compounds, no? So in ana ka importante pod ang inyong mycorrhizal or mutualistic fungi with respect to the plants, no? Your mycorrhizae also is the very reason why our tropical rainforests are very much diverse in terms of the types and kinds of fauna and flora that we have. So take note, your tropical rainforest in comparison to any other types of biomes or habitats, your tropical rainforest has the highest biodiversity, no? And they have the highest biodiversity despite the soil of your tropical rainforest to be very poor in terms of nutrients, no? Kay wala man jud kay gamay ra jud kayo ang nutrients sa inyong tropical rainforest nga soil because of constant raining and flooding, no? Kung naa kay daghang runoffs and your excess water are there, the water would tend to dissolve the nutrients in the soil and wash it off, no? So maadto siya sa lain nga mga ecosystems tungod sa mga runoffs of extra water. If that is the case, then the nutrient availability in your tropical rainforests are very very low, no? So gamay jud kay siya in comparison with other biomes. However, because of the presence of your mycorrhizae, no, this balances out the very low nutrient availability in their soil because they are now able to fix the nitrogen coming from the atmosphere and provide these essential nutrients to our plants, no? That's why the tropical rainforest has very high biodiversity thanks to your mutualistic fungi mycorrhiza. No? Very important in terms of ecological function and sustainability of the habitat. Now, there are also economically important fungi, no, such as your yeast and penicillium, because these are eventually the fungal, yeah, marag dawa ko kadiyot. Sorry, pagaw po day ko gamay, no? So there are ecologically important fungal species such as your yeast and penicillium, no, or penicillium, because these are the very fungal species that are used in our not daily but uh, yeah, pwede po daily di ay because your yeast are used for bread making, no? And these particular fungal representatives are part now of our life, no? Basically speaking, because we are using them to produce products, to elevate the quality of products, as well as to elevate the well-being of human species. No, well-being because some antimicrobial drugs, some antifungal drugs are basically extracted from these fungal species, no? So ang ato ang kanang most of our antibacterial drugs are they came from our fungal representatives such as penicillin, no? Economically important, and since it drives kanang mga money making, for example, na mga activities such as bread making, wine making, no, cheese making, tofu, your what else? Kimchi, no? So all of these are actually kanang uh, these are actually available to us because of the presence of the yeast, no, and any other helpful species of fungus. Now, for our fungal structure, uh, you will know that the structure of our fungus are kind of like different from our animal cell because these are actually filamentous, no? Elongated ang cells sa ato ang fungus, no, or fungi. And the vegetative stage of our fungi is what you call a thallus, no? Thallus for singular, thalli for plural. Now, based on the number of cells, you can have fungal representatives that are unicellular, no? And you also have fungal representatives that are multicellular. The general term for your fungal species that are unicellular are yeast. And the general term for your multicellular fungi are what you call molds. For multicellular fungi that are macroscopic, the general term for them are mushrooms. No, but you see, you have also the terms truffles and morels. No, later on we will discuss them. So for your yeast, no, or single-celled or unicellular fungi, they reproduce asexually, no, most especially through budding process, or they can also reproduce sexually. No, so your asexual budding, there is an outgrowth of a particular cell on the main body axis, and this outgrowth through time will grow more or less the same size as the main parental cell. And after which, when the time comes, the outgrowth would eventually detach itself and would become another individual, no? Another functional individual. They lack flagella and cilia, no? So very simple, but contains most of the eukaryotic organelles. No? So similar with our plant and animal cells, they still have the membrane-bound organelles as well as the nucleus. No, there are also instances in some stages in the life cycle of your fungi that a particular cell will bear multiple nucleus. No? So later on, we can also discuss that one. They form smooth colonies if we try to grow them under laboratory conditions, no, and in agar plates. So the colonies for our yeast are quite smooth in terms of their texture. As opposed to the single-celled fungi, no, for multicellular fungi, the thallus is very long. Uh, so this time around, it's not anymore circular or spherical in shape, but they are now thread-like or filamentous, no? So mura na siyang ugat ang inyong molds. And the thallus is quite long. These are branched and thread-like na filaments. These filaments are what you call hypha. No? If isa lang siya ka-hair-like structure, that's a hypha. But if you have a bundle of different hypha, then that's the time you call them as mycelium. No? So mycelium, daghan na siya, mura na siya kanang usak ka bugkos sa buhok. No? Pero kung isa lang ka strand sa buhok, that is what you call a hypha or hyphae. And then the hyphae could either be a septate or septate. So when you say a septate, there is no cross walls that is found along the length of the cell, meaning it's uninterrupted. No, the cytoplasmic stream is uninterrupted. Wala siya mga boundaries. No, as opposed to your septate, this is now an um, interrupted structural type for your hyphae as to where there are now cross walls, no, or septa. Ang cross walls ninyo mura sad ni siya mga boundaries between different cells, no, and this would also now interrupt the cytoplasmic streaming or the transport of materials from one point to another within your fungal cell, no? And when you try to grow them under laboratory conditions, you might see that they will now form fuzzy colonies, no, in agar plates. If you try to imagine kanang atong mga pan or bread and naa siya molds, no, kanang gitawag nato nga kanang basically molds, no, it can be green or white or black. So these are actually the actual colonies of molds nga pareho ra kung ato siyang i-culture sa laboratory. For the yeast, pare-pareha siyang dagway sa colony sa bacteria. Hopefully makita po na nato when we do our laboratory exercises with respect to inoculation of microorganisms, no? For reproduction, no, as I've said, pwede silang sexual, pwede po sila sa asexual. Now, for your asexual reproduction, they can do, aside from the budding, no, the fission would eventually that are clones of one another, identical with one another, no? And in your transverse fission, that's why transverse, because filamentous baya ang structure sa inyong fungal cell, no? So if you are going to cut a filamentous or cylindrical structure, ang cut niya would be transverse, no? So that's transverse fission. And then for your asexual spores, you have different types, no? Basically, it would depend now on how they are formed and how they are stored, no, in the spore-bearing structures of your fungal species. So one particular type of your asexual spores are your arthroconidea, no? So your arthroconidea, these are forms when your hyphae fragments. So when you have fragmentations, no, mura siya na ay joints, no, sa inyong filamentous hyphae. And these joints, that's the term
case ni sir, I think nawala ka dun.
Arthro. No? Arthro meaning joint.
Oh my god!
Hello?
Hi, sir.
Sorry. Francia, hello. I'm using my data now, but I can't use my laptop kay hinay po akong data. Can we move na lang siguro to the report of our lab exercise 4? I'm currently using my phone. Ready na ba ang fourth reporters?
Yes, sir.
Sige. So, kanang i-save sa ko ninyo kamusay kamusay report, Kent. Kamo ba, Kent?
Yes, sir. Kami ang sa Kingdom Fungi, sir.
Sige, Kent. So, related naman po ato ang lecture and laboratory exercise. So, maybe we can kanang interchange na lang sa for now. Sige, so you can share now your PowerPoint and then you can start the report.
Makita ra dira sa inyo ang end, guys, among PowerPoint.
Kent, yes.
Okay, so good afternoon each to and everyone. So we are the group 4 to discuss the exercise 4, microbial diversity, kingdom fungi. So without further ado, let's start our discussion for today. So for the introduction, kingdom fungi is a unique and highly diverse kingdom of eukaryotic organisms encompassing yeast, molds, and mushrooms. They are fundamentally distinct from plants and animals and protists in both structure and physiology. One of their most defining features is the presence of cell walls composed of primarily of chitin, contrasting with the cellulose walls of plants, and cell membranes containing ergosterol instead of the cholesterol found in animals. Unlike plants, fungi are heterotrophic absorbers. They cannot photosynthesize, but instead secrete extracellular enzymes into their surroundings, breaking down complex organic materials into simpler compounds that can be absorbed. Examples are saprophytes. Ecologically, fungi occupy varied roles. Many are saprotrophs, decomposing dead organic matter and recycling essential nutrients, while others form mutualistic relationships, such as mycorrhizae with plant roots, which enhance nutrient exchange. Some species are pathogenic, affecting plants, animals, or humans. Morphologically, most fungi grow as hyphae, the thread-like filaments that collectively form a mycelium, while yeasts are typically unicellular and reproduce by budding or fission. Certain fungi are dimorphic, capable of switching between yeast and mold forms depending on environmental conditions. Reproductive strategies in fungi are equally diverse. So asexual reproduction often involves the formation of conidea, as in Aspergillus, or sporangiospores, as in Rhizopus. Sexual reproduction yields specialized spores such as zygospores, ascospores, or basidiospores, each associated with different fungal groups. Beyond their biological diversity, fungi are integral to human life and the biosphere. They are primary agents of decomposition and nutrient cycling, sources of antibiotics and fermented foods, and in some cases, significant opportunistic pathogens in immunocompromised individuals. So now let us discuss the objectives of this laboratory exercise. So number one, we have to examine permanent fungal specimens and differentiate major fungal morphologies. Since online man ta, so we just search up some of the morphologies and fungal specimens. Second, identify and label distinct structures of fungal representatives. Number three, identify the current classifications of the fungal representatives, and for the less objective, relate structure to function, including modes of asexual or sexual reproduction and their clinical or ecological significance. Now let's proceed to the three phyla of fungi based on the PDF given. So I'll pass the floor to Mr. Clarence Guerrea to present this part.
So the three phyla of fungi, first is Ascomycota, or the sac fungi, is the largest, most diverse phyla that reproduces using ascophores within a sac-like structure called an ascus. Second is the Zygomycota, or molds, known for producing a robust, thick-walled spore called a zygospore. These can be friendly or harmful food molds. And lastly, the Basidiomycota, or the club fungi, mushrooms and puffballs, some edible and others deadly, all reproduce via basidiospores formed extremely on a basidium. Next slide, please. So first is the phylum Ascomycota. The phylum Ascomycota, or the sac fungi, is the largest fungi group, encompassing more than 64,000 described species, including yeasts, molds, and cup fungi. Their defining feature is the ascus, a sac-like structure where sexual reproduction produces usually 8 ascospores, housed in fruiting bodies such as Apothecia, Perithecea, or Cleistothecia. Hyphae are septate with simple pores, often containing warning bodies to seal damage. Asexual reproducing is widespread, mainly through conidia or budding in yeasts. Like other fungi, they have chitin, biglucan cell walls, and ergosterol containing membranes, and food by absorption. Ecologically, they function as decomposers, pathogens, mutualists, and lichen partners, thriving in terrestrial, freshwater, and marine habitats. Next slide, please. So, fun fact, in 1928, Alexander Fleming made a serendipitous discovery. He noticed a mold, later identified as Penicillium notatum, had accidentally contaminated a Staphylococcus bacterial culture in his lab. Around the mold, a clear zone appeared where bacteria failed to grow, indicating that mold produced an inhibitory substance. Fleming's crucial observation paved the way for others to mass produce penicillin, the first antibiotic. Today, it's estimated penicillin has saved over 500 million lives. Next slide, please. So, Candida albicans. Candida albicans is a dimorphic ascomycete yeast in the subphylum Saccharomycota, order Saccharomycetalis, known for its role as an opportunistic human pathogen. In its commensal form, it inhabits the gastrointestinal tract, oral cavity, and genital mucosa. It reproduces primarily by multilateral budding, producing oval yeast cells, but can also form pseudohyphae, or chains of elongated cells with constrictions, and true hyphae in response to environmental cues. This this morphological flexibility or dimorphism is a key virulence factor, allowing tissue invasion and evasion of host immunity. While sexual reproduction with ascospores is rare in natural populations, genetic evidence confirms its ascomycete affiliation. Infections range from superficial candidiasis or oral thrush vaginal yeast infections to life-threatening systemic candidemia in immunocompromised patients. Next slide, please. Aspergillus is a filamentous mold in the subphylum Pezizomycotina, class Eurotheomycetes, and order Eurotialis. Species grow as rapidly spreading colonies of septate hyphae that produces upright candidiospores, ending in a vesicle covered with phyalides that generate chains of dry airborne conidia. This asexual spore production allows rapid colonization of substrates ranging from soil and decaying vegetation to stored grains. Sexual reproduction in telomorphic states such as Euritium produces Cleistothecia containing asci and ascospores. Some species are beneficial, like citric acid production and biotechnology, while others, such as A. fumigatus, cause aspergillosis in humans, especially in immunosuppressed individuals, and A. flavus produces potent aflatoxins in contaminated crops. Third, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, or the baker's or brewer's yeast. It is a unicellular Ascomycete in the subphylum Saccharomycotina and order Saccharomycetalis. It reproduces asexually by budding, leaving distinctive bud scars, and sexually by forming asci containing typically four ascospores following mating of compatible haploid cells. This yeast is globally significant in baking, brewing, and winemaking due to its ability to ferment sugars into ethanol and carbon dioxide. It is also a model organism in molecular biology and genetics with a fully sequenced genome and extensive research history. S. cerevisiae has septate hyphae-like structures only under certain growth conditions, but its life cycle and genetics are classic examples of Ascomycete biology.
Phylum Zygomycota. This phylum comprises primarily of terrestrial fungi characterized by Cenozoic or aseptate hyphae, meaning that their hyphae they lack regular crosswalks except at the reproductive structures or older regions, unlike um, septate hyphae, which have walls dividing them into compartments called septa. Cenozoic hyphae are continuous, essentially one long cell with multiple nuclei. Hypha is the branching filaments that make up the mycelium of a fungus. If plural siya kay hyphae, if singular kay hypha. And they produce asexually by producing sporangiospores enclosed in spherical sporangia borne on specialized stalks called sporangiospores, often anchored by rhizoids and connected by horizontal stolons. Members of this phylum grow rapidly under favorable conditions and are important in decomposition, food spoilage, and certain fermentation processes. Next slide. Rhizopus is a fast-growing filamentous mold in the order Mucorales, commonly known as bread mold, and widely distributed in soil, decaying organic matter, and stored food products. Its vegetative hyphae are broad, ribbon-like, and Cenozoic or aseptate, spreading over the substrate via stolons that give rise to rhizoids for anchorage and nutrient absorption. Fun fact, rhizopus have the ability to reproduce both sexually and asexually. In asexual reproduction, rhizopus produces sporangiospores bearing spherical sporangia filled with numerous non-motile sporangiospores, which are dispersed when the sporangial cell wall ruptures, or the sporangial wall ruptures sexually through a process called conjugation, which involves the fusion of compatible hyphae from different mating types. This process results in the formation of a thick-walled zygospore, which is a dormant structure that can survive harsh conditions and eventually germinate to produce new mycelia. The conjugation process is different from sa katong sa kingdoms na we have before, like sa protist, where ang conjugation is a temporary union when two cells of the same species but different mating types come together and exchange sila og genetic information. Pero walay offspring ma-form sa conjugation sa protist, but there is a fungi kay ilang conjugation kay sa process which involves the fusion of hyphae of opposite mating types to form a zygosporangium, which then produces a zygospore. And next slide. Sa phylum Basidiomycota, comprises of mushrooms, puffballs, bracket fungi, jelly fungi, rust, and smuts. They are defined by the production of basidiospores on club-shaped basidia within fruiting bodies called basidiocarps. Sa dire naman kay ang ilang sexual reproduction, they begins by when the haploid hyphae of compatible mating types fuse in a process called plasmogamy, forming a dikaryotic mycelium, which is ang dikaryotic kay cells that contain two genetically distinct haploid nuclei that grows into a basidiocarp or the mushroom inside a club-shaped structures called basidia within the mushroom's gills. The two nuclei fuse or the karyogamy to form a diploid zygote, which then undergoes meiosis to produce four haploid basidiospores that are released to germinate and start a cycle. And mo to yung process sa yung sexual reproduction where na siya ay prolonged dikaryotic stage. And sa din naman sa kanyang asexual reproduction, they katong na mention ganiya, which is the fragmentation. It is although less prominent siya sa kaysa kuan as Comycota. Fragmentation is a type of a asexual reproduction in fungi where a piece of the parent fungal body, such as a fragment of the mycelium, breaks off and develops into a new genetically identical individual. Na murag mo like mo separate ra siya and to make a new individual na identical sa katong host niya, like yung parent ko na. And next slide. And yung specimen nga under sa phylum Basidiomycota is this agaricus or the common button mushroom. Yung classification, which is saprotrophic basidiomycete, decomposes organic matter in soil rich with plant debris. The life cycle is basidiospores germinate into monokaryotic mycelia. Fusion or plasmogamy forms dikaryotic mycelia. Dikaryotic mycelium produces the basidiocarp or the mushroom. Yung structure kay na siya stripe na stem, stipe or stem, phylus or the cup, and the gills underneath. The reproduction is sa gills, which undergoes karyogamy and to meiosis, producing typically 4 basidiospores. Spores are forcibly discharged and dispersed by air. And it is edible, widely cultivated, and the morphological identifiers are fragils and annulus or ring from partial veil. Next slide.
So, before we proceed to the grad questions, let me share a very interesting fact about fungi. Did you know that the largest living organism in the world is not a whale, not a tree, but actually a fungus? Beneath the leaf litter, Namari National Forest in Oregon, USA, lies what scientists call the humongous fungus. This is a vast underground mycelial network of a fungus that spreads across thousands of acres. This giant fungal web acts like an underground highway, connecting thousands of trees, helping them exchange nutrients and even signals, almost like a natural communication system. On the surface, we only see mushrooms growing around trees, but underground, the mycelium stretches endlessly, making it the largest known organism on Earth. This amazing fact shows us just how important and powerful fungi are, not only in decomposition, but also in maintaining balance in the entire ecosystems. Next slide, please. So for the guide questions, what are the other phyla under the kingdom Fungia as classified by Adit et al. 2005? Describe each group. So first we have the Chytridomycota, also known as the chytrids. These are the only fungi with motile spores, known as zoospores and motile gametes. Each zoospore or gamete possesses a single posterior flagellum, allowing movement in aquatic environments. Next one, we have the Microsporidia. Fungi, known as obligate intercellular parasites. They produce intracellular chitin wall spores equipped with a unique polar tube used to infect host cells. And the last one, we have the Glomeromycota, which are obligate symbionts forming arbuscular mycorrhizae with plant roots. They produce large multinucleate asexual spores, and their hyphae are sinusitic, meaning they lack regular cross walls. Next slide, please. So the next question, asexual propagules of Aspergillus versus Rhizopus. The difference between the asexual spores of Aspergillus and Rhizopus. Aspergillus produces conidia. These are dry external spores that form on conidiophores and are easily carried by air, while the Rhizopus produces sporangiospores. These are enclosed in sporangia and only released when the sporangium breaks. So in short, conidia are naked and external, while sporangiospores are enclosed and internal. Next slide, please. The third question asked about the structural difference between septate hyphae of Aspergillus and sinusitic hyphae of Rhizopus. Septate hyphae have cross walls or septa, dividing the hyphae into compartments. This helps localize damage, so if one part is injured, it doesn't spread. While the sinusitic hyphae lack septa, so the cytoplasm is continuous. This allows rapid growth, but if one part is damaged, it can easily affect the whole hypha. Next slide, please. So the fourth question. In Candida albicans, what is the functional significance of the yeast or hypha pseudohypha transition, colonization, and immune evasion, which two microscopic features would be prioritized to differentiate Candida albicans from a non-pathogenic budding yeast? So the yeast form helps in colonization and quick spreading, while the hyphal or pseudohyphal form helps in tissue invasion, biofilm formation, and immune invasion. This switching ability is a key virulence factor. To identify Candida albicans microscopically, two main features are important. First, the presence of pseudohyphae or true hyphae, and second, the mixed morphology, both budding yeast cells and filamentous forms in one sample. Next slide, please. So the fifth question. Fifth, explain how the zygosporangium represents sexual reproduction. What advantages might a thick-walled zygospore confer in fluctuating environments? The zygosporangium represents sexual reproduction because it forms when gametangia form from opposite mating types fuse. This produces genetically diverse offspring. The thick-walled zygospore acts as a resting stage, protecting the fungus against harsh conditions like nutrient shortage, dryness, or extreme temperature. It ensures survival until conditions become favorable again. Next slide, please. Finally, fungi use ergosterol instead of cholesterol in their membranes. This is very significant because common antifungal drugs like azoles and polines specifically target ergosterol or its synthesis. Since human cells use cholesterol instead, the drugs are selectively toxic to fungi and not to our own cells. Next slide, please.
So that concludes our answers to the guide questions. So before we end this discussion, I must remind everyone that all mushrooms are edible, some only once. So kinsa man diri nakakaon na og mushrooms, like kinsay nagpuyo sa bukid na manguha sila og uhong, o manay tawag sa Bisaya. Or like kanang sa Jollibee na ilang burger steak na may mushrooms, no? So some ana nila kay edible gid siya, but those like have striking colors na may red, yellow, usually ana nila kay edible na siya pero kausara jud. So that is all for our discussion for Kingdom Fungi. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, reporters. So are there any questions coming from our Onsani class? Wala. uh, I think we should go to the terms, no? Dagan kaayong terms, technical terms referring to fungal structures. For example, when you go to asexual and sexual spores, di ba? How do we, uh, which of those structures are asexual spores and which are the structures that are associated with sexual spores?
Good afternoon, sir. Sa fungi, sir, ang spores that can produce asexually or sexually kay for asexual spores kay na-form niya siya without the fusion of gametes and they are associated with the sporangiospores which produce mo inside siya sa produce inside the sporangium. Then associated po siya sa conidiospores na mo produce siya externally on specialized hyphae. Ang tawag sa kaning specialized hyphae, sir, kaya ang conidiophores. Then associated po siya sa chlamydospores, mga thick-walled survival spores formed inside hyphae. Then napod, sir, na kanang arthrospores formed by fragmentation of hyphae, then blastospores formed by budding. So that is for sa asexual. For asexual pod, for sexual spores, we have zygospores, ascospores, basidiospores, and oospores, sir.
Yeah. Dagan kayong term, no, but that these terms would actually denote how they are formed and the special structure bearing the spores themselves, no? And for example, when we highlight unsa man kaning Basidiomycota, no? You have what you call basidiospore, you have basidium, and you also have basidiophore. Now, what's the difference among these terms?
To answer, sa ang basidiospore, mo na ang sexual spore sa Basidiomycota, produce siya externally. Ang basidium, mo ta siya ang cancer, ang club-shaped cell na ara mo occur ang meiosis and ang basidiospores ara ang ma-form. Ang basidiophore, sir, okay, mo large spore-bearing structure that contains many basidia. So silbi mo siya ang kanang nag-contain sa mga cancer. Teka ng basidias, sir.
Yeah, no, so just to clarify, if moingon kag basidiophore, this usually consists of the spore-bearing reproductive hypha plus ang katong imuhang structure nga mo create o mo carry sa inyuhang spore. So the entire structure there is the basidiophore, no? Parihara sa na siya sa imuhang zygospore, no, ascospore. But when you go to the term basidium, mo na siya ang club na nasa tumoy sa inyong basidiophore. So mo na siya ang nag-bear sa inyuhang basidiospores. So ang katong asexual spores for dissemination and proliferation to other habitats, mao na to sila ang basidiospores mismo, no, ang spores nila ba. So ang suffix ready ay ang naglahi, no. You have four spores o ium, no. Yeah, across different kanang groups or taxa of your fungi, i-attach lang to ninyo nga mga suffixes, no? So kung adto ka sa Zygomycota, mahimo na sad siya zygospore or zygospores or zygonium, no? So lahi siya. when it comes to bacterial spores, how can we differentiate now, no, the endospores of your
Answer sa if i-compare na to ang bacterial endospores ug ang fungal spores sir kay ang purpose sa kanang endospore in bacteria kay used for survival siya sir highly resistant yan sa fungal spores sir ang kaning kuha niya sir ang purpose niya sa fungi kay for reproduction sir.
Yes, no? For kanang bacterial endospores, usually these are their means to survive mga adverse conditions, no, stressful conditions, whereas in our fungi, these are mainly for reproduction, no? But there are some fungal spores that can withstand adverse conditions. However, these are not quite kanang what you call this one, kanang the term is kanang dili kayo sila mas nakalimot ko sa term, mas kusgan, no, compared to the endospore. So mas ligon jud to ang cell wall sa inyong bacterial endospores compare sa fungi. So it depends on the purpose, whether for reproduction or for survival. Maglahi-lahi na po ang structure sa ilahang protective covering, which is the cell wall of the spores, no? So that's the main difference between bacterial spore and your fungal spore. Bacterial spore mainly for survival, no? Survival strategy. Fungal spores, these are for reproduction purposes, no? And there are spores, diba, you made mention nga na ay flagellum, na apoy spores. Most of the spores of your fungi wala na, nawa to ang ancestral trait. And what could be the possible reason behind in your chytrid nga naapay nagpabilin nga flagellum silahang spore? And what could this trait indicate, no? What this trait tells us about fungal, the kingdom fungi? Kana siya. So, basing on the ancestral trait of the presence of flagellum in the spores of chytrids, no, what can we say about the kingdom fungi and its relation to the other kingdoms, for example?
Kuan sir kani sa among sa kaning gikan sa kuan sir laboratory exam kanang X4 sa katong gi-provide na PDF sir kay provided atong as Mycota, Zygomycota, Basidio, Mycota. Nag-check me sa katong book provided. Then we have there the Chytridio Mycota. Then naka-indicate dito sir na the reason why lang zoospores na apay flagella kay ang kani daw na kuan sir kay they are the most primitive fungi na nag-live sila sa aquatic environment, and we know that ang flagella is used for motility man sir.
Yes.
Then,
no, and
then
sige.
Kuan sir, since karon nag-exist gyapon ang flagella sa ilaha sir, nag-indicate siya na ang atong kingdom fungi nagikan siya sa aquatic ancestors sir.
Just like your kingdom protista, no? So basically, if you try to look at the phylogeny of your chytrids, these are polyphyletic. So daghan pagyahapong possibilities nga kanang and issues, concerns, and problems with respect to their classification kay wala pa man jud nakita ang ilahang single common ancestor, no? So that is why this particular kanang ancestral trait could go back to uh, them being descendants of protists, no? So, malink gihapon sila balik sa inyong protista. Although, sa inyong higher and complex species of fungi, they now kanang have the absence of the flagellum on their spores. No? It's because naglahi naman po ang ilahang means of propagation and means of distribution. Since they are not now distributing their spores via water, airborne naman ni sila, so there is no need for them to have the flagellum, no? So ang maka-distribute na widely sa inyong fungal spores would be mostly air, no? So airborne na siya. So giwagtang na nila ilahang flagellum, no? So again, it has the changes and adaptations here are with respect to the changes as well in their habitat and means not to survive. So mga wala na po itong mga ancestral traits. And in this case, that's the presence of flagellum silahang spores. With respect to katong last ninyo na question, last ba itong question? Number 5 man siguro to. Dili ay sige. Unsay pinakalas nga question number 6, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, you made mention the ergosterol, no? Unsa gani ning ergosterol? And you also have what you call kanang ergotism. Can you shed to us kanang what is ergotism with respect to fungi and humans?
Sir. The reason why ergosterol presents fungi instead of cholesterol kay like in our antifungal drugs that can target fungi specifically kay tungod na sa presence sa ergosterol sir na mo ay nag-stabilize sa ilahang membranes and mo na siya ang antifungal drugs makatarget ra siya specifically sa fungi. Then based sa katong na-remember na ko sa book, sir, ng ergotism, kay kung to siya, sir, poisoning mo to siya, sir, by ingestion of, like, grain, na,
grain
na-infected siya o ganang kuan, sir. Kung sa kalimot sa katong specimen na naka-infect ka na, sir, na makalidaw to siya o ganang hallucinations, sir.
Ergot nga fungus, that's what you call claviceps, no? Pari-pariha sa inyong cordyceps katong zombie fungi. But for your ergotism, yes, maka result siya into hallucinations, no? Vomiting, for example, or gangrene, no? Most ni sila ang gitawag nilag kanang unsa ni devil's curse sa una kay naamay mga gangrene, mga black ang portions or extremities sa tao nga nakakaon sa inyuhang claviceps nga fungus. No, so mura siya gi-curse daw. And that could lead to death, no? And it's also quite infectious kay naamang po ang fungal spores man gud nimo sa grain. But usually ang ilahan yung first infection would be on the rice grain themselves. So niya kumakaon siya, that's the time they will infect mga kanang human cells na, no? And so be careful kung mukaon mo og kanang mga food nga na ay molds or fungal colonies because they do have these neurotoxins, no? that would eventually kanang invade your central nervous system as well as the extremities no sa inyong body part. Aslum siya, sir. Naaga ni Oban mo pait pod siya. But there are fungus nga kanang edible, no? So sa giingon pa ni kanang Kent ganina, all fungi are edible pero some edible sila once kay matsugi man ka after. But yeah, there is no universal kanang trait for your mushrooms, for example, nga maka-pinpoint ka whether they are edible or not, no? So usually ang ingon nila kung colorful daw kaayo ang inyuhang mushroom, then that could means that these are not edible, no? But there are edible mushrooms na colorful man sad pud good, no? So that is based on katong isa na to ka Filipino scientist nga which specializes on mushroom nga there is really no universal character as to where or as to when we can say that a mushroom is edible or not, no? So it depends jud kung mo-release ba sila og toxins or not. Now, with regards to mushrooms, naamang kay what you call truffle, no? So can you differentiate mushrooms, truffles, Morcel?
Ang totoong question, sir.
Can you describe to us what's the difference between your mushroom, truffle, yan apog kay morel? So most of these mga macroscopic mushrooms or fungi are under Ascomycota and Basidiomycota, no? So unsay kalainan sa mushroom, sa truffle, sa morel? Truffle kay lami man pud ang mushroom.
Once ang mushroom grow siya above the ground, under siya na po sir, perform sa mga symbiotic relationship sa mga roots daw. Then, ang more siya na fungi na hindi siya honeycomb like na fungi. Then, above ground at siya.
Yes, no? So, ang mushroom, naingon si Kinsani, si Victoria, mushroom is an umbrella term, no? Which is also basically true because if makakita kag ka ng mga outgrowth above ground, usually we call them as mushrooms man, no? Pero kung ang iyahang head portion is honeycomb-like in structure, no? Hollow body ang morels. Yes, naay hollow body pud ang morels, no? So when you say morels, daghan siyang buslot-buslot, no? So it's like ang iyahang ulo more siyang honeycomb-like in structure and in texture. But when you go to mushrooms, smoother ang iyahang head, no, or the spore-bearing structure. When you go to truffle, these are more or less no underground macroscopic fungi that grows near the roots of your kanang plants or ilahang plant hosts. So basically more na siya ang kanang major difference between your mushroom, your morel, and the truffle, no? So but all of them are macroscopic, no, in nature. So these are also kanang unsa ni very highly economically valued nga mga fungi. Okay? Usually, these are the sources of edible na mga fungi, no, or mushrooms. Truffle kay ang truffle gani kay murag mahal kay na siya. And then Yeah, so I think what naman siguro ko'y question. Hmm. Yeah, I think wala na ko'y questions. uh, wala na yung other clarifications from the class. Okay, I think wala na, no? So, as for now, I'll just postpone our kanang quiz sa laboratory exercise 4 ha. Let's have it tomorrow na lang before sa report sa ato ang laboratory exercise 5 because I cannot access my laptop for the meantime. Naunsan eh. But for next week, next week will be the schedule for our midterm exams, diba? So we shall have what do you want to go first? Ang laboratory or ang lecture? Let's have the lecture and the laboratory on a separate day. So maybe on Wednesday we can do the lecture, midterm exam, and on Thursday we will have the laboratory. And the coverage for our midterm exam would be all the topics that we have discussed, from the beginning until this week. So basically, that would be for lecture, the introduction, the bacterial and archaeal structures. You have also the eukaryotic cell. You have kingdoms, archaebacteria, eubacteria, protista, and then fungi. And for our laboratory, we shall have laboratory exercises 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm still thinking whether to give you the the moving exam since wala mong good mo nakakita sa actual slides, no? So maybe written lang siguro sa laboratory. Yeah, mag-written lang ta because it's also quite unfair kung mag-moving ta niya wala mo kita sa slides. So let's have written lang for our midterm exams for both lecture and laboratory. Okay? So that's our coverage and schedule. So again, for Wednesday, we shall have the lecture. And on Thursday, we shall have the laboratory. But maybe we could start later, mga 4 p.m. siguro if you like. Or do you want to start at 3 p.m. dyan mismo para sa'yo mo makauli? Marag daghan man nag-celebrate. So I think 3 p.m. siguro ang ganahan sa tanan. Sige. What else? For our lecture scientific article reports that will now start next week, so after the midterm exam. I have also some changes in the papers kay na ako'y mga nakitaan nga nindot nga papers ba. So for the reporters, especially for group 1, start na mo og kanang read next week. Kay the reporting would be next week na po during our lecture schedule. Do you know nga na changes sa ato ang schedule? Ang lecture na to, by the way, will be on Fridays. Nakakita mo sa inyong schedule, everyone? Wait, let me double check. Tanawa daw sa inyo ang schedule. Ako i-double check ako, aha. Wait, naay nag-message. Asan na nag-message? Na Zarina na. So sa ako diri is Friday 10 to 11:30. Pareha sa inyo ha?
Yes po, sir. According sa among, sir, portal kay, most sir sa Friday. Ang
Ay, hello, wait. So, that would mean ato ang lecture would be on Friday?
yes, sir, na shock sad mi, sir, sa among schedule. Kay before, sir, 6 to 7:30 man to, sir, di ba?
Oo.
Ay, at ang ganun originally.
Ani na lang sa siguro. This next week sa ato ang midterm exam, since ang ato ang laboratory kay Wednesday, Thursday, ay wait kay online man ang isa ani no?
Yes, sir, more than Thursday at sir.
Online Wednesday di ay tanya.
Yes.
Thursday face to face. Basin magbangga ta sa other classes ba no? Ay, let's follow na lang sa this one for the meantime, pero mangutana ko by Monday if na ay mga vacant para makaduta sa Wednesday, Thursday. If not, kanilang sa ato ang i-follow. So Thursday di ay would be laboratory and then Friday would be lecture. So let's kanang follow lang sa this one for our midterm schedule, no? Okay ra ang tanan ba?
Eh, sir, kanang, narami, sir, i-clarify, sir, kanang, next week na dito, sir, midterm, like, ang first week sa face-to-face, sir, kay, we thought,
Wait, like,
second
unsa
week.
ito? Second week ba to, di ay?
Mura, sir. Nasaksad mo, sir.
Ay, sakto September 8 man di ay, no?
Yes po, sir. So, next
Sorry,
week pa.
na-advance ko. Kanang next week pa di ay. So, okay, nakalimut ko. Next week di ay mag-lecture ko sa viruses. Okay, nakalimut na ko.
So, sir, kanang, okay, sir, go lang, sir. Kanang, appeal pa, sir, ang laboratory 6 di ay, sir, sa midterm exercise 6.
Dili, mag-5 lang sa ta. Kay, okay, kung mag-6 ta, mag-perform pa manggod ta. Dili na to mapas ang report. So after na lang sa midterm ang laboratory exercise 6.
Sir.
So supposedly mag-discuss ko ron sa fungi, but because of our technical problem, iusa na lang nako ang discussions next week for fungi and viruses. Onya, after which, second week di ay, that's the midterm. Thank you for correcting me, Za. And then, third week pa sa September would be the start of our scientific article report. So, napaday tayo 3 weeks for the lecture reportings. So, okay na ta, tanan? Yes, Za.
Hello, sir. And excuse me, sir, kanang sa among, di ba, sir, kay next week man kay effective na ato ang new schedule, di ba, sir, na kanang natay Friday, sir, nga klase, which is atong lecture. Kanang, request unta mi, sir, like, at sa block ba, sir, na if it's okay lang sa imo, sir, na kanang i-online ra ang lecture ba, sir? Kay since sa among good subject, sir, sa Friday kay usara, which is mora na ang
kanina, no?
Opo, sir. So, basta, sir, if ever, okay
Sige,
na
okay.
sir,
Okay rin ako, basta okay sa tanan.
Sir, request mo sa block yun, sir, nila. Request nila, sir.
Sige, okay na ta mag-online. Ang dili okay ang akong globe.
Ala.
Bitaw.
Pero sir, siguro, sir, during quizzes, siguro, sir, kay, i-conduct siya online, sir, or face-to-face yun?
If ang long exams na lang siguro.
Okay, sir. Sige, sir.
Zero imo wifi, sir. Murag, I think, 1 month na siguro ni or more than a month na ni nga problem na mo. Unsa ni mga personnel sa Globe katulo na nagbalik sa amoa pero inigari nila mo munindot ang wifi pero kahawa mo balik na pug gawa. So I don't know. But yeah, pwede ra jud ta mag-online on Fridays. 10
Thank you,
to
sir.
11.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sure. Pero this time around ang sa laboratory mas pindot nga maka face-to-face ta, ha? Para maka hands-on mo sa bacterial inoculation and culturing.
Yes, sir. No worries kasi ang laboratory kay need man jud. Namin
Yeah.
yung namin, sir, mag-laboratory, sir.
Yeah. And, wait. Ato. By the way, next week po di ay, basin mag-orientation ko gamay sa inyong dadon nun for laboratory exercises nato. Murag ubay-ubay mo dadon nun, mga protective materials and materials nga to ang gamiton for inoculation sa ato ang bacteria. But that would be on next week na lang during ato ang face-to-face nga interaction. Okay? So I think I will not hold you any longer. It's almost 5 naman po. So tomorrow we shall have first the quiz for laboratory exercise 4, and then we will have the report and hopefully makakuan sa exercise 5 na quiz. Okay? So okay na tatanan, everyone?
Yes,
Sige.
sir.
So thank you. Thank you, reporters, for your report this afternoon. And thank you also, Globe. Charot. Sige. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sige.
Thank you, sir. Amping, sir.